Welcome to Next Minds Academy. We do offer online lessons, basically through Zoom. I always provide our IDs and passwords for all the lessons that we are going to have prior to the lesson. For today, we are going to talk about the weight of the body in details. So basically, weight is defined as the gravitational pull acting on a body towards the center of the earth. It is that force basically that pulls anything freely towards the earth. So meaning that the direction of weight is always towards the earth. That is, weight always tends to pull an object towards the earth. So this brings about the definition whereby we can also define weight as a force that the body exerts on anything that freely supports it. So we realize that since weight has a direction and the direction is usually towards the earth and it is always pulling a body, so we therefore conclude that weight is a vector quantity, since in the definition of a vector quantity, we define a vector quantity as a physical quantity that is fully defined by magnitude and direction. So weight involves a body which of course has a magnitude, call it mass, and the direction in which the body is pulled is towards the earth. So that implies that weight is a vector quantity. The SI unit of weight is Newton. Since weight is a force, therefore it qualifies to be measured in Newton. So weight is therefore measured in Newtons. So the instruments for measuring weight vary depending on the one which is accessible to you. Okay, but if you have to look at the mathematical form or mathematical way of determining weight, we determine weight by using the formula. Weight is given by the mass, if mass is m, and acceleration due to gravity is g, then weight of the body is got by multiplying mass with acceleration due to gravity, g. So weight is mass times acceleration due to gravity, g. So weight is different from mass. Most people tend to confuse weight and mass. So the differences between weight and mass are given in the table below. So we define mass as the quantity of matter in a body, is contained in a body, whereas weight is that gravitational pull on a body. Then mass of a body is constant anywhere. So if a body is taken to any planet, its mass remains constant, whereas the weight of a body varies from place to place. So the fact that the reason as to why weight varies from place to place is because weight is of course got by multiplying mass times acceleration due to gravity. So acceleration due to gravity changes from place to place. So it means that every time acceleration due to gravity changes, the weight of a body also changes. Then another difference is that mass is measured in kilograms, whereas weight is measured in newtons, since weight is a force. Then also mass is a scalar quantity. Scalar quantities are those physical quantities that are fully defined by mass only, or call it magnitude only, whereas weight is a vector quantity, meaning that it is fully defined by magnitude or mass and direction. Then mass is a basic quantity, or we can call it fundamental quantity. Fundamental quantity. So, whereas weight is a derived quantity. So fundamental quantities are quantities which cannot be obtained by multiplying other quantities, whereas derived quantities are quantities which are obtained by multiplying other quantities. So this can clearly be seen in the equation of weight, whereby to get weight, we multiply mass and acceleration due to gravity. So you can see that we are using mass and acceleration due to gravity, which are other quantities to obtain weight. But mass in itself as mass is a fundamental quantity. You can't obtain it from any other quantity, but it is actually used to obtain other quantities. That's why it is called a basic or a fundamental quantity. So if we look at the examples of where we are required to calculate the mass of a body, we have the first one, a body has a mass of 500 grams, find its weight. Okay, so in calculations at this level, depending on what value of g you're given, which is the acceleration due to gravity, in this case, we shall be using acceleration due to gravity g as 10 meters per second squared. So every time you're asked to calculate the value of weight, mass should strictly be in kilograms and acceleration due to gravity should be in meters per second. So in this case, we are given that the mass is equivalent to 500 grams. And we also know that the acceleration due to gravity is 10 meters per second squared. Okay, so if you have to calculate the value of weight, we first convert mass to kilograms. So to convert from grams to kilograms, we divide by 1,000. So this implies that mass will be given by 500 divided by 1,000, and this will be equivalent to a half a kilogram, or if you write it in decimal point form, this will be 0.5 kilograms. Okay, so if we go ahead and calculate the weight, so weight will be given by mass multiplied by acceleration due to gravity. So the mass is 0.5 multiplied by the acceleration due to gravity, which is 10. And finally, our answer will be 5 newtons. So mass is in kilograms, but weight is strictly measured in newtons. So the answer that we get here is 5 newtons. Okay, so still you can go ahead and do this. Find the weight from when we are given the mass as 0.55, so you still follow the same. This time the mass is already in kilograms. So we just multiply with the acceleration due to gravity, and the weight will be given by mass times acceleration due to gravity, which is g. So the mass is 0.55 times 10, which is the acceleration due to gravity, and we end up getting our answer as 5.5 newtons. Okay, so if you look at this question here, this one, they're asking us to find the mass of an object of weight 400 newtons. So in this case here, we are given the weight as being equivalent to 400 newtons. And we shall also use the acceleration due to gravity g as 10 meters per second squared. Okay, so if you have to find the mass, we shall still use the same formula, which says weight is mass times acceleration due to gravity. So this time we have the weight as 400. We are looking for m. So this is m times g, which is 10. So to get the value of m, which is the mass, we divide by 10 on both sides. So finally, we shall end up having mass as being equivalent to 40 kilograms. So the mass of that body or that object that has a weight of 400 newtons is 40 kilograms. So basically that is how we deal with questions which have to do with calculation of weight, or when you're given the weight and they want you to find the mass. So that is how we basically deal with such questions. Thank you for everyone for watching. Please subscribe to watch all our videos. Thank you very much.